Hey there, everybody. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to a little concert review for you here tonight. Before we talk about the show, let me introduce the two Riches. We got my brother Rich Pardo and Rich Catino, two Jersey boys in the house. And speaking of Jersey, we were both in New Jersey just the other day in the Wellmont Theater in Montclair, New Jersey, to see the return of symphonyx, the end of the tour for 2022, the last date of the tour, with opening or co-headlining, however you want to say it, Haken from the UK. And I guess this was about a month and a half long tour or something like that they were saying, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think back in April
or May, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But it was supposed to start in 2020 with Firewind and Primal Fear, remember?
Yeah. So this was COVID postponed, like it seemed like a couple of times. So by the time they decided to reschedule it, those other two bands couldn't come along. And thankfully, they were able to grab Haken, which this is the first real tour of the States that they've ever done, which I think was pretty neat. So it was really cool to see them. And there was another band who came on beforehand. I forget their name already, two-piece band.
Was it Trope?
Trope, that's it. Trope, yeah. So we were kind of outside hanging out, so we didn't get to catch them, but we came in just in time for Haken to come on, and they played about an hour, I think, right thereabouts.
Yeah.
10 songs. Well, actually, no, not 10 songs. They played 7 songs. Seven songs, including a little bit of "Owner of a Lonely Heart" by Yes, which was kind of bizarre. But
Right, which was part of, when I'm looking at the set list, it says it's a song called 1985. That's their song, and then they inserted that in part of it.
Yeah, and then they finished with the rest of 85. Yeah, which is a little bizarre, but whatever. Everybody knows that song. So it was kind of neat.
I actually liked it.
Yeah, well, it was fine. I mean, it was pretty cool.
I think I actually like that song the most out of their set.
Really? Oh, geez.
That song, I think, because I had a little bit of maybe a throwback feel, 80s feel between the keyboards and the guitars.
Yeah, the music's good though. They're progressive rock, progressive metal, but they don't really sound like anybody else. They've got some Dream Theater moments here and there, but I think they're pretty original sounding, pretty heavy. They had great sound, I thought. Everything was crystal clear. You had the two guitar players, bass, drums, keyboards, and vocals. Ross Jennings is their singer. He's very animated and whatnot. But they mostly played songs from their last 2 albums. They did play Cockroach King is from an earlier album called The Mountain. But most of the songs they played Prosthetic, Invasion, Nightingale, Cockroach King, Nil by Mouth, 1985 with Owner of a Lonely Heart, and Carousel. Mostly newer songs from their last couple albums, which are a little bit heavier than their earlier stuff. But I really enjoyed them a lot. I thought they sounded great. Like I said, they played just about an hour, and then symphonyx came on, and they played 10 songs actually. So not an enormous set list for them. And I think I don't know, for me, a really good set that was like sprinkled with a couple things you would expect, and some other songs that either I have never seen them play live or not in a long time, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, I had never heard of them before, but I enjoyed the whole set. I was very, very happy listening to them. It definitely, like you said, Dream Theater-ish, and a lot of spots that I noticed. But yeah, I enjoyed their music.
Yeah, no, Haken was definitely really cool. What did you think about the symphonyx set list?
No, it was good. Yeah.
Good mix of stuff, right? I mean, I think I motioned to my brother. I was like, without you, I don't know if I've ever seen them play live that I can recall. Maybe they did.
I look back and I think they did. But yeah, I didn't recall at the time. But looking back at some of their set lists, I'm like, yeah, I think I did see that. Like
that's from Underworld, so that's a recent song. If they would have played it on Underworld when they first toured for the album, I don't remember, because I saw that I want to say it was New York City, right, when they were touring with Overkill. Was that
yes.
Underworld, I think? Yeah, so I don't remember if they played it when they played with Overkill.
Yeah, well, it was so long ago because of COVID that it's
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know when that year would have been. It might have been 2019. No, maybe 19 or 18.
before that, I think.
Yeah, maybe before that.
Yeah,
Well,
before that.
Underworld came out in 2015, so it's got to be somewhere around there.
Or 15 or 16. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah,
It could be.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, some old classics. You had some stuff from Paradise Lost, which I think was pretty cool. You got, I mean, I'll just go through the track list real quick. Nevermore, Evolution, the Grand Design. That was very cool to hear.
Actually, that was, yeah, Evolution. That was one of my favorite songs in the set. I really like that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
again,
that's
not
from
songs they play all the
New
time.
Mythology. That's
Yeah.
from the 5, the New Mythology.
Yep, which really cool, unexpected, I thought. Serpent's Kiss was great. Seal Eyes, they always have to play that, right? Then you had Without You, then When All Is Lost, another kind of surprise to the set, which I kind of really dug quite a bit. Kiss of Fire might have been the heaviest song of the whole set, possibly.
Newer
Run with the Devil, another surprise, right? Didn't expect that. And then the last song of the set was Set the World on Fire, which always good to hear live.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. And then the big encore, which was the Odyssey, which, seemed like, I mean, they played the same set throughout the whole tour. So everybody in the audience was shouting for it before they even came out. So you kind of knew that was coming. And I think kind of a cool, so it's always interesting when a band plays like a big epic like that as their encore. Right, you think that would be somewhere in the middle of the set or towards the end of the set before the encore, but really well done. For me, the only, the place was a good crowd. Obviously, everybody was completely into it. Russell was, who was a great front man, obviously wanted this show to be the loudest show from a crowd perspective because it was the homecoming show last night of the tour. So I got the impression he was getting a little annoyed with the audience at times because he wanted them to be a little more raucous, but Sunday night, it's kind of late, whatever. It's like people are into it. Just keep playing. I don't know. But I thought it was great. My only thing with the band, and this is an issue I've had with them forever, they're so good live. It always seems like they're just way too loud, like no matter when you see them. Like
Really? I didn't think it was that bad.
I still thought it was really loud. Every time I see them, I just feel like they should just tone it down just a little bit because there's a lot of subtleties in their music that I think you miss because the volume is just so high. I don't know.
Right.
That's just me, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's just my ears getting old. I don't know.
I was actually, my little disappointment was I was hoping that they would have done something from the other 3 albums that they didn't do something from. You're doing an anniversary show, instead of doing, what was it, 4 from, and I wrote this in my review, if I could do a little plug for Brave Words.
Yep.
I sent it over to them. They did 4 from the newest album, Underworld, which is a great album. But then you got 2 from Paradise Lost, which were the singles, which are great. And then they did 1 from the other albums because the Odyssey is so long. But there was no room for anything from the first album, like Masquerade would have been cool, from the first one, or something from the Damnation Game, right?
Yeah.
And what was the other album? Twilight.
Yeah, nothing for Twilight and Olympus. Yeah.
Right. So you skip 3 albums, but you got 4 from the newest album, and then the long epic one, which is like 25 minutes long. So that was my only disappointment being an anniversary tour. Give us something, at least 1 from those other albums, because there's a lot of great songs on those.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would have liked something from Damnation Game. I think I've been listening to their stuff the last week, and I don't think I've ever seen the Accolade ever played in concert, and that's something I would have loved to see.
Yeah, I would agree.
Part 2 when they toured for the Odyssey, I'm pretty sure.
They did play that. Yes, they did play
Part 2,
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is. I mean, honestly, what I would have loved to, because they played a 2-hour show, but what I would have loved to see, no disrespect to them, but tell Trope they're not playing this particular night, and you have that extra half hour then to dedicate to them so they can play 3 more songs.
Yeah. And then you could have gotten 1 more from one of each of those albums,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That solves the whole problem right there. Because you're doing the last night of the tour in your backyard. It's the anniversary, make it extra special, tell the opener that, you know what, you got tonight off, we'll pay you, have Haken come out, play an hour, and have them play 2.5 hour set. Or 2 hours 15, whatever it is, because they had the time to do it. So,
So,
or
like I
you
said
don't play,
before,
or you don't play the Odyssey, right? But you almost like they have to play one of the epics because they always do.
which is, yeah, but you take maybe 2 off instead of doing 4 from the new album, newest, and leave room for 2 or 3 from the earlier records, so you don't skip them.
Yeah. But I mean, they were great. They were
Yes.
spot on as they always
I
are.
don't think they ever make mistakes. Anyone?
No.
They're just, the whole group. And Russell Allen's one of the best metal singers of the past 20 years.
Yeah.
Yep. I love his personality on stage.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah.
All the little faces and mannerisms, and he's just, he's
dances around and gets the crowd going and everything. Yeah.
Yep, he does.
And his vocals are always really, really good.
Yeah. But man, Michael Romeo.
Yep.
Another him and LaPont. Nobody, the keyboard player, nobody makes a mistake. Everything is so in sync. Everything's so tight.
Well, I was just amazed. I was watching Romeo and just his fingers just effortlessly flying all over the fretboard. It's just
they're barely touching the strings.
I know. It's just nuts.
And so accurate with everything he does. And like he's flashy, but yet sort
There's
of
a lot of feel.
Yeah.
There's a lot of feel though too. The notes, it works for the song.
Yeah. It's just and little Jason on the drums, man, for such a small guy, man, what a powerhouse.
And when they stop too, they like stop on a dime, like everybody, like everything just stops and they pick up again. It's really.
Yeah, considering like how many years it's been since they've toured, and that this wasn't a really long tour, but they still have a good amount of dates. How tight they were, but they always are. Like every time I've ever seen them, they've been like that. They're not a band that's ever sloppy. They're always such professionals and always spot on. So
yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just gonna say I was looking back to when we saw him. I don't know if you remember, Pete, in North Plainfield. At that, I thought it was a motorcycle dealership, but it was actually a Heavy Metal Sound. It was called back in 2001. Yeah. Even back then, it's like we were saying, they were just so good, and throughout the years, it's just been much the same. Just like really, really good playing, really accurate, really great sound, and it just they never failed to impress.
Was that one of the first times they played here? Because they didn't play much America much. They're always overseas, right? And then I think they started doing more touring around 2002, 2003, I think.
Yeah, there were a few other dates. I think like Jackson, Virginia, they played. There was, I think, the Trocadero in Philadelphia back then, because I was looking at that. But I just remember we saw him in this nothing place, and the stage was about a foot higher than the crowd.
Yeah, there was like motorcycles and stuff all over the place. Like the showroom was weird. I'm surprised you weren't at that show, Rich, because where was that? That was in Jersey somewhere.
No, North Plainfield. It's a couple towns over from where we live.
Yeah.
So
I don't remember, or maybe I just didn't know about it. Probably that was back when probably the Aquarian was still around, right? When they used to have advertisements of shows in the Aquarian magazine. Remember?
Yeah.
So maybe I just missed it. I don't know, but I didn't see.
It was pretty early on. They weren't playing much around here at all. And I think the next time I saw them was opening up for Blind Guardian at.
That's the first time I saw them, and I saw them in New York at L'Amour's, right?
Yeah, they played L'Amour's.
They were in New York and L'Amour's and someplace else.
Yeah, Birch Hill. That was a good show.
Yep, played Birch Hill. Bunch of times at Starland Ballroom.
Yep.
Yeah,
I saw them at the Dance in Poughkeepsie quite a few times as well. And then, I saw them headline, and I also saw them they did the tour with Iced Earth and Overkill you mentioned. Didn't they play with Accept once too?
Maybe. I don't remember that.
Don't remember that.
Maybe not Accept, maybe it's just Iced Earth I'm thinking of.
Okay. And don't forget they latched on to Gigantor, so.
You were on Gigantor?
Yep. A lot more exposure.
Yep. And didn't they wasn't them at Epica one year as well? I
don't remember them.
There's too many shows. Yeah, too many shows.
Well, there's between Odyssey and Underworld, there's 4 albums in there. So they came around for Paradise Lost, Iconoclast, and Underworld.
Yeah. A lot of good stuff. I thought it was a really good show. I was as tired as I was from the whole weekend. I found both bands thoroughly entertaining, and definitely a good night. Good night of progressive
I
metal.
didn't know Haken, or Haken?
Haken, yeah.
Haken. I didn't know them going into this. I never heard them. First time.
Yeah, I've been listening to them since they first came out. They're excellent. All their albums are really, really good. So I would say, Rich, if you want to dive into one of their albums, check out The Mountain.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate a little more. I'm gonna investigate a little more.
Yeah, they're definitely really good. High quality band. It's good to see them over here. So they're very different.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff. So cool. Anything else to add, guys, before we let everybody go?
No,
I'm good.
One thing we should mention, because they talked about it on stage quite a few times, as well Russell did, is that hopefully they're going to do another tour in 2023. At least that's what they want to do. So we'll see.
Cool. Maybe we'll get those earlier songs then.
Yeah, maybe, right? Yeah, maybe it'll be a longer set and they'll mix it up a little bit. So for those who didn't get a chance to see them on the short tour, hopefully next year they'll do it again. And I know they're working on new material, right? So maybe we'll have a new album by then as well.
And you know what they've never done? They've never put out an official live concert DVD, have they? They did an album, but I don't think they've ever put out a pro shot show, right?
I don't think so, no.
So that should be due, right?
Yeah, that would be good.
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Actually, you know what I was thinking? They'll never do it because it would cost too much money. But to do, they have the Odyssey with an orchestra alongside. That would be fantastic.
That would be pretty
Right.
awesome.
But that's never going to happen.
Nah, probably not.
Never know, right? You can do 2 acts. You do a first act where you do the earlier albums, then you do the Odyssey, and you do some songs from the newer albums. That would be really cool. Split it up, like an act 2.
Yeah, a lot of the older stuff, you could actually have the orchestra playing on a lot of the
Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Mike Romeo, if you're watching this, make it happen, man.
Write them down.
Make it happen. You guys can do it. You guys can do it. Pull it off. Special New Jersey show only, right? There you go.
Yes.
There you go. And tape it.
That's right. That's right. Record it. Blu-ray release, everything, the whole thing. Whole 9.
Yeah, whole thing.
Yeah. So there you have it, everybody. A quick little review of June 12th, Wellmont Theater in Montclair, New Jersey, Symphonyx, Haken, and Trope. Like I said, we missed Trope, but Haken and Symphonyx were absolutely amazing. Great show. And thanks for watching, everybody. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. For Rich Pardo and Rich Catino, I am Pete Pardo. Have a good night, everybody. See you real soon. Bye-bye.
You guys.